My name is Leah Silva. I'm 25 years old. I'm from Orange County, California, and this is my story. I always say I was born and bred to tap dance. I have been at it longer than I can remember. I was 2.5 when my mom first took me to the dance studio. We lived right down the street, and as the story goes, every time we would pass by the studio, I would point and just cry to go there. And she just knew. She knew that that's what I wanted to do. And from the moment I stepped foot in there, I haven't stopped since. Nancy Kindorf was my very first dance teacher and tap teacher. She was the absolute perfect blend of stern strictness and the most loving kindness that one could give.
Well, I can still remember that little girl walking into my studio. Beautiful child with lots of curls and big smile, and of course she had a beautiful mother coming in with her too. And from that day on, it just seemed like there was a star that was starting to be born. And I can still remember her little smile and taking her classes and following instructions. I didn't usually take children that young. And of course I always would say, let's see how they do. And if she can take directions and follow and pay attention, then we'll let her stay in the class. If not, well, let's wait till she's a little older. Well, that didn't happen. Mama knew best, and Leah began her dancing career.
Through their classes, they taught me about hard work, perseverance, staying humble, and they basically laid the foundation for who I am today as a tap dancer.
Leah started at 2.5. Betty put her in dance at 2.5, and we saw how much she loved it. And it was just something that came natural to her, you know. I always had dreams of her, you know, becoming a big tapper, you know, a star somewhere in Broadway or something.
It was a joy. It was a joy to watch her dance, and it was a joy to see brightness in her that she just enjoyed dancing. That was her life. We could see it in her.
She was our little sunshine, and she was just fantastic. To watch her grow from that little girl doing Benny the Magic Bunny to just being this fabulous, you know, dancer and tapper, and it was just great. But it's something she'll excel in, and it's in her heart.
Definitely in her heart.
I'm very blessed. My family has always been extremely supportive. They have always backed me up and broken their own backs to provide everything I ever needed to dance, to do what I love. My dad worked all the time, my mom worked all the time, and they did everything they could to let me take as many classes as I could. I'm really happy that I have the family and the friends that I do have. And now that I'm married, my husband Ron is always there to be my soldier, to be my guy. He's there, very supportive, does whatever he can. My whole family is it's great. YouTube has been such a blessing. I have sat there for hours looking at the styles of women that have come before me, women that are still today. Chloe Arnold, I'm always watching her. I'm watching how she's fierce. She's so fierce in everything she does. Ann Miller's use of her arms and her body, it's incredible at that time. And I have tried to make that my own, to turn the women that I love watching, and I admire their artistry and their performance, and I've found ways to make that into my own and create that into my own being. I was the only one at my school that danced. Every other girl played soccer or softball or basketball, and I was the only one that didn't play a sport. I danced, and I didn't have anyone to talk to about that at school. I don't think anyone understood, and it was very isolating that everyone else was able to talk about stuff that they did, and I danced, and I grew out of it though, and I understood that I didn't have to be like everybody else, and I could be me, and dancing, I could be me. And I was someone totally different at school than I was when I was dancing. I was myself, and I was who I felt I was meant to be every moment I was on that floor dancing. I sacrificed my time with my family. I do. I sacrifice it a lot. But I'm very blessed that they understand. And even though they understand though, it's really hard. I have had those moments where I'm crying in the car as I'm leaving, and I've had those moments where my daughter is grabbing onto me and saying she's not gonna let me go. And why am I leaving again for dance? And why am I always going to LA? And this and that, and it's hard. I think I'm also my biggest critic, and that is a huge obstacle for me. I let myself talk myself down, and I let myself get upset when others say things about me. And growing up, that was a big deal for me. That was a huge obstacle. That was the one thing that stopped me from continuing. I let people that I loved the most bring me down, and I've grown stronger from that. And I'm still a work in progress. I'm still learning to stop the negative self-talk, and I'm still learning to be my best person that I can be, and to be my biggest support system is me. And I'm learning to raise myself up, and it's hard, but I do it all for what I love. I do it all for the dance. In my life, I've come across many women that I have had the fortune to meet and to look up to and to talk to and ask advice from. Two women that I admire for their teaching is Nancy and Sean Kindorf. From the young age, I knew that I wanted to teach like them. They had the perfect blend of being stern and loving at the same time. They always approached their students from a loving heart. And I really appreciate that, and that's something as a teacher I've always tried to recreate. Then there's Diane Walker. I met her my first year at the DC Tap Fest in 2011. And I sat there and I cried in her arms like a baby, talking to her about what it's like to juggle being a mom and a good wife and an amazing tap dancer. It was really refreshing to be able to talk to somebody about that and them totally understand where I'm coming from. Dormeshia, Sumbry-Edwards. I was able to sit and talk with her and have another woman to relate to, a woman that I admire so much and look up to. And it feels so comforting to be in the position I'm in and have these women I can look up to. And then there's Christy. There's Christy Hernandez, who has been my mentor since I was a kid. I first met her when I was 11, and I auditioned for her for a piece that she was putting together for the Long Beach Symphony Orchestra for their Christmas show. She was getting together a group of kids to tap dance in a wooden toy soldiers piece, and I got cast. And that was the first time I ever worked with her, and I loved it. I was very blessed to be in sound effects and very lucky to have her as my mentor. We went to San Jose with our company. We did work up there. She brought me so many opportunities to perform and to work in a company setting at such a young age for so many years that I grew so much in that time with her. Still today, I just finished choreographing my first piece for her students, and she's still mentoring me to this day, helping me understand lighting, and when we get to that point in the show, she's gonna be there with me to help me do all of that. And I have never admired someone as much as her. She is an amazing mother, an amazing wife, and the best teacher that I know. She can teach everyone from beginning to advanced, and they get it. It just clicks with her.
When I first met Leah, it was such a joy. I remember the first class that I had with her. I thought to myself, wow, this dancer, not only is she talented and she can do whatever I'm asking her to do, but she is excited about learning. And that's my first memory of Leah. Now I'm very excited because here we are, 10, 20, almost 20 years later, and she is now a colleague of mine. I'm able to go and take class with her. We're studying with other master teachers together, and it's very exciting to see her come and work with my students now after she has been my student before this. So she's now training up the next generation, and I'm excited to see what she's going to be doing in the next 20 years. And I get to see and teach her daughter as well. So it's really coming around full circle. We're gonna have a good time.
If I could be half the teacher, the mother, the wife, the artist that Christy Hernandez is, then I would be living my dream.
We would go to these dance conventions and we'd give scholarships. And Leah didn't just dance in her class. She performed. She would go and put out 100%, even more than that. And I think this is something that I really realized then, that this is somebody that's going to do something with her dance, because she didn't care whether it was hip hop or ballet or jazz or tap. She was going to give you 100%. And every time we would go to conventions, she would win a scholarship to go to the next one because of her excellence and her way of showing the world, here I am.
Ryan Iskenderian, my very first tap partner, my very first partner in crime. We were 5 years old when we were paired up to begin doing duets together. And it was magic. We had a chemistry and a love and a passion for tap that got us so many places. At a young age, I did my first competition with him and we got first place, and it was like striking gold. Everywhere we went after that, it was amazing. And Sean and Nancy gave us so many opportunities to perform as a pair. We performed at the Breakers Club in Long Beach for a gala when we were only 5 years old, and we got a standing ovation. It was just an amazing experience being with him, and I was so sad when he stopped dancing, but looking back, I wouldn't have traded any of it. It was an amazing time. Whenever I have my tap shoes on, I feel brand new. I feel like everything that has gone wrong with my day or with my life or in that moment is gone. It's gone, and all that's left is me and my shoes and the wooden floor, and that's all I need to escape. I escape from everything on tap.
Bella, you ready to dance? Let's do it. Let me show you how a real lady taps.
I wouldn't be the person I am if it weren't for tap. It is truly living inside of me, and I would not have it any other way.